What's up, besties, and welcome to this week's episode of Pillows and Beer. I am in Charleston again after a busy day in New York, joined by bestie number one, Craig Conover. He's in Paige's closet, and Mr. Nick Norris hanging out with us as always in Virginia. I'll say it correct this time, Nick. We're not going to make fun of your profession of making moonshine in the mountains. I am worse for wear today. Well, not worse for wear, but it just feels like a long day because I had to wake up today and travel back because we are on the heels of a fun bar crawl yesterday in New York City. And it truly was a lot of fun.
And come see us in Phoenix on Thursday. If you're within a driving distance, our show is Thursday evening. I think there's like 20 or 30 tickets left to wrap up this kind of chapter of the tour. So me and Austin are really excited about it. But yeah, the bar crawl was great. We went out with our new business partners at they are very successful and very historic bars in New York City yesterday, starting at Down the Hatch. And that was built in 1991. Well, we started at the Spaniard and then went to Down the Hatch. We're excited, by the way, is opening this summer in Charleston. That is the name of the bar, by the way. So follow us on Instagram. And it was neat.
By the way, we're excited that By the Way is opening.
It was fun. We got to meet a lot of our besties, and it was chill. We played some beer pong, watched some truly awful football, and then we got to run into Kyle Cook. Not only Kyle Cook, but also Sheena from Vanderpump Rules. So that was really neat.
Yeah, they came to meet us at the last bar, which was Downtown Social. I'm gonna try and remember all the names because shout out to all the staff and the managers and everyone that made it happen and welcomed us in. And there's like a camera there kind of filming because I'm pretty sure that all the businesses want to make like a dope little promo video, which hell yeah. And so thank you to Down the Hatch and Three Sheets and Off the Wagon and Downtown Social for hosting us yesterday and for making it an awesome day. And to all the besties there were quite a few, Craig. I don't know if you noticed, but quite a few that followed us to each and every bar. So shout out to those people who specifically freaking dedicated the bar crawl to and hanging out with us. But yes, at the last stop, Kyle and Sheena were there, and they had a table, and we were able to all just kind of hang out and watch the last bit of the second game because the first game did not go according to plan, according to Craig's plan.
Yeah, it went according to the NFL's plan, which
the NFL's plan too.
Yeah, the NFL's plan, which it's funny that everyone that was being called crazy yesterday, then they announced today that Taylor Swift's brought $330 million to NFL. The issue is the Ravens absolutely sucked, and they were so bad that they made the NFL's job easy. So they basically, even though they were probably going to encourage the Chiefs to win, they didn't have to because the Ravens sucked. But it was pretty sad for the missed calls at the end. But we didn't play well.
The Ravens did not play their best game of football. For a team that puts up so many points and has such a high-powered offense, and someone as marvelous as Lamar Jackson to only put up 10. I know that Ravens Nation is hurting today.
What a boring
moves.
Yeah, I mean, and then I was rooting for Detroit for no reason other than how fun would it be to have them in the Super Bowl, and then blew
Detroit hadn't won a playoff game in 30 years. So how could you not be rooting for them? Like the fact that they were right there next to one game away to go to a Super Bowl, which has to be.
Well, and they gave up the first 27-point lead ever. I think in a championship.
No, 17-point lead. Second 17-point lead.
Yeah, it was a 24-7 game, man, going into half. And
Well, they gave up 27 straight points.
yeah.
Yes.
The Lions kept on going for it on fourth down, right? Like one of them, actually, both of them were dumb as hell in my opinion. It was like fourth
The
and one
first
or
one
fourth and
wasn't. I
two.
disagree.
It was on like the 13-yard line, man. You take points. You know, it's the Chiefs.
You're up by 14 points, and the guy hits
Okay,
it. It
Nick.
hits him in his hands. Catch the damn
Nick.
ball. You're a wide receiver.
Look at what happened.
Well, they lost by 3.
Yeah, and
Hindsight.
they also the second one I'll
Hindsight,
give
Nick.
you was dumb.
Hindsight, Nick. No, man. You take those points, dude. You're on the 12-yard line
Not
against the
guaranteed.
defending Super Bowl champs. And
Ask
you're
the
certainly
Bills.
not. Okay, we'll ask the Lions, Nick. Like your argument is dumb as hell. Ask the Lions because they went for it on 4th and 2
So
and
if
missed
they
it both
kick a
times.
field goal and they miss it, are you then giving them shit?
Well, they're
for
not going to
going
miss
for
a field goal.
You're not
That's
gonna miss
the
like a
Bills,
chip
Fred.
shot. That was not a chip shot. That was not a chip
It's a
shot. It was like
48-yarder.
negative fucking 40 degrees. Nick, I don't agree with what you're saying.
I agree with both of them. No, I don't agree with the second
Well-
one. I agree with the first one. Because then that asshole
Well,
dropped another one
it's
on
now going to be the most boring. Whatever. I'm not going to shit on the Super Bowl, but look, here's something that happened yesterday. We had girls on the bar crawl wearing Chiefs jerseys that were Eagles fans. And I was like, the Taylor Swift effect is real. They're not only bringing household numbers up instead of it just being the guy watching, they now have fans of other teams purchasing jerseys.
Yeah.
So
And spelling Travis's name wrong.
yeah. So the
Wait, what?
I didn't see that.
No, but I saw it. I saw it on a blog or whatever, right, where people were making self-made jerseys and they were spelling Travis's last name wrong and stuff. And it's like, and that's how you really know that these girls didn't care. I'm not saying that everyone doesn't, but those who don't have a dog in the fight now are rooting for Taylor Swift. And now Taylor Swift is going to go to the Super Bowl and usher. And people are going to be like, chanting for her to perform at halftime or something. And like, she already said no to it. Then they asked her at the beginning of the year and she said no. And Usher's the one who's performing.
It was going to turn into, the concern was that it would turn into a Taylor Swift concert,
Right.
like the fans. And now it is. So, I just saw a poll that it could be up to a fifth of voters this year will vote for whoever Taylor Swift endorses. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this girl has a powerful
She could rule the world.
following.
Yeah.
Swifties could go to war.
Yeah. On Saturday Night Live, Dakota Fanning was the guest. And in her monologue, she threw it back to, when she was in the audience for SNL's 30th anniversary or something like that. And she was like, and look at who's in the picture with me. They zoomed in on her and behind her, was Donald Trump. And then she was like, I didn't know that I was in a picture with the most powerful person on the planet. And then they zoomed back in and in front of her was Taylor Swift. And, the crowd went crazy. It was like, so, Dakota Fanning was like, like a subtle nod to Taylor Swift being the most powerful person in the country. Maybe
It's
the
absurd.
world. Yeah,
I mean,
it is
it's
absurd.
not a knock at her, but it just shows you we're going to take a quick commercial break from a word from our sponsors and we'll be right back.
With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Make saving time your breeziest resolution with quick, convenient recipes delivered right to you. Just choose your meals and select your delivery rate.
This time of year, everyone's looking to revamp their eating habits. Look to HelloFresh's wholesome, health-forward options like over 30 calories smart and protein smart recipes each week. I personally love HelloFresh because it doesn't take the cooking portion out of our evening or lunchtime routine. However, it makes it exponentially easier and allows me to actually just cook, especially because of the pre-portioned ingredients. Not only do you not have to go shopping, you don't even have to measure. So I can actually do the fun part of cooking, which is sitting there cooking and talking, then focusing on a bunch of measuring and weighing.
Go to HelloFresh.com/pillows and beer free and use code pillows and beer free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/pillows and beer free with code pillows and beer free. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Welcome back, besties, to Pillows and Beer. I will, this is what I'll say. I will always say this, and I don't think it's a hot take at all, but recently it has been. I think that when you walk up to the voting booth, there should be a list of policies on both sides, and then you vote for the policies that you want.
1,000,000%.
The problem with that is, I guess now people vote for who they like better as a person, which I guess that is politics, right? Selling yourself. So I understand that there's some. So maybe
you just sold politics saying that.
No, I'm working through this, Nick. I'm working through it. So maybe what you do is you have people read, a page on each candidate, at least just one page, and then you vote. I don't know if that would change things, but
I mean, the way that things are done now, I must say it is pretty freaking irresponsible, right? Because it's like I go in there to vote for maybe one or two, people on the ticket. I mean, I think that I've even texted you, Craig, which I almost kind of hate to like admit to the besties out there, but like I was like, Craig, dude, is there someone that like I should be voting for here for like super like contender or something in Charleston that I don't know about?
That was
and it's
good.
like I don't know, and like that's bad, right?
That was
like,
for the
eeny, meeny, miny,
stuff.
mo, right? And
Right.
That I'm not going to sit here and pretend that
Look,
I know.
I would
everything about the candidates.
appreciate a little objective blip, especially for the local ones. But I mean, it goes back to the people that run around New York or whatever city, and they're like, "Can you believe so and so is doing this?" Or "Can you believe so and so believes this?" And then the person's like,
Billy
"Heck
on the
yeah."
street.
It's something like basically like that. And they're like, "Heck yeah." And then they tell them who really said it, and they're like completely flabbergasted. But, it's not something that we can control. And I think that's where you have to find peace in it. Some people are like, "Oh, well, you can change things." And it's like, well, no, you don't have to be, you can't. You just, in this capacity, you can't. And so I don't know. Do you ever feel that you're responsible by not having a louder voice, or how do you deal with that?
Yeah, Craig. I mean, I feel like I sometimes, am like I'm like, wait, man, should I like, jump in on this and say something? I have this whole huge platform, and not that many of them, care about what I have to say, on said issue, but like, I mean, it could raise awareness, right? And then like another part of me is like, or just like shut up and like, keep in your lane because you really don't know like the whole thing. Like, yeah, I do feel
I just
bad.
hate, if I could change one thing, I wish I could have.
As much as I do.
Yeah, I wish I could have. If I could go back in history and change something recently, it would be that certain people were able to weaponize that a difference of opinion is a personal attack. And I think it's really led to a diminishing kind of social structure in society where people really think you're evil or the enemy if you don't agree with them. And you can see it really tearing stuff apart. But, what can you do to change that? All we can do is entertain and make people happy with beer and pillows and moonshine. Moonshine and fireplaces. We've got everything we need.
I mean, I'll never forget the Ricky Gervais speech at, I don't remember, man, what it was. Was it the Golden Globes?
It was the Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes.
Shut
and
up.
He's like,
accept your award.
He's like, everyone who is going to win tonight, what I want you to do is get up, thank your people, thank your God, shut up and sit down because nobody cares about your political preference. You guys don't know shit about the real world. You sit up in your ivory towers. So like accept your award and shut the fuck up. And some people clapped, and like they panned to some people I I think that they panned to Tom Hanks, and he was like, "Oh, well, I don't know about that." And I was just laughing. I'm like, "See, but that's funny, right?" Because Ricky is a comedian, and he took a chance to be like, "I'm going to say what I want to say," and some of Hollywood clapped and thought it was funny, and some of the people were like, "Can you believe you just said that?"
That is funny, and I'm sure there were so many butthurt people in the audience. But I mean, that's where the Electoral College came from. Was you were supposed to go into towns and like have the auto workers or the wheat farmers or whoever be like, "Hey, this is who we need to vote for in order to like help our people out." And so it was way more localized. And then the Electoral College was supposed to go, cast the vote for their people. But it's also messed up. But again, we're a young country. We're very young. We're not even 400 years old. And there has been way more powerful nations and empires that have fallen apart longer than us. But I don't know. It's did you know that we're not
Taylor
even
Swift effect has done to us, Craig? We're sitting here, we just meandered into complete politics and the way that we vote, and
well, the fact that Taylor Swift can just encourage a fifth of our country to vote whatever she says is mind-boggling to me.
It would almost be fucking irresponsible of her to like endorse someone with how much power that she has, right? It would almost be just like an irresponsible thing where someone's like, all right, like I'm going to the polls and like, can I just type in man Taylor Swift? Like I bet that she gets like hundreds of thousands of votes in the US, right? People are going to be like, write in Taylor Swift, and like it's going to be like weird little percentage.
They shut down Twitter's search function for a little bit today because of Taylor Swift, which, I mean, this shouldn't happen to anyone, but basically there were so many Taylor Swift deep fakes going around Twitter that you can't search for Taylor Swift right now on Twitter. Like they turned it off.
Wow. Some deep fakes. All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have some more here on Pillows and Beer. All right, besties, that's the sound of another sale on your online Shopify store. But did you know Shopify powers selling in person too? That's right. Shopify is the sound of selling everywhere, online, in-store, on social media, and beyond.
Shopify Point of Sale is your command center for your retail store. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify has everything you need to sell in person, which is why that's exactly what we use at Sewing Down South. With Shopify, you get a powerhouse selling partner that effortlessly unites your in-person and online sales into one source of truth. Track every single sale across your business in one place and know exactly what's in stock. It's exactly what we do at our store in Charleston. It's exactly what we use at our warehouse in North Charleston. And when we travel around to see all of our besties, including at BravoCon and things like that, we take our Shopify Point of Sale with us, and that's what we use.
So sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/pillowsandbeer, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/pillowsandbeer to take your retail business to the next level today. Shopify, shopify.com/pillowsandbeer. Welcome back, besties, to this week's episode of Pillows and Beer. We are talking about all things NFL football, which led to, the games from yesterday, which led to Taylor Swift deep fakes. And how do you talk about the NFL these days without talking about Taylor Swift? I can't believe that we're doing it for someone
Which is crazy.
Like me, who claims to hate, knowing as much as I know about, pop culture. I think that that's just being like a self, hater, because like I kind of love it because here we are. I know everything that there is to know, it feels like, about all of this going on. So was the NFL game rigged yesterday because Taylor Swift brought in an estimated $330 million, or were the Ravens supposed to be in the Super Bowl along with the 49ers? The NFL was like, we literally can't lose. Like, we cannot lose on this game because the script said that the Ravens were supposed to be in there. But
with the
you know.
Lions, Ravens, Lions. That would have been cool. But oh well, it is what it is. There's a fugitive on the loose in Mount Pleasant, so lock your doors if you are.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
didn't mean to
hiding.
laugh at that. I just
No,
was laughing at.
it's like a
I was just laughing
local
at
news
the
story.
quick, transition that you just took. Like, anyways, if you're in the Mount Pleasant area, which is the
Lock
greater
your
Charleston area,
doors.
lock your doors. Okay, well, shit, I should lock my doors. Probably not locked.
Really?
Take me, just take me.
I always lock my doors.
It drives
But
me
I'm
crazy when my parents lock their doors. They live in like a gated, community. They're out there like a golfing community. And like when I drive up, right, because they always drive in their cars. And so they open up the garage and then close them. And so they don't lock the downstairs door. But the door that I walk in when I come is the front door, right? And so I always show up to their house like 30, 40 minutes, man, prior to dinner. And so it's like I'm walking in, I'm ready for like a glass of wine or something. And like I hit that door handle and it's locked. And I just want to like break it down every single time. I'm like, why would you lock your front door? And they're like, Austin, we always lock it. And we have like the same conversation every time that I go there. So good on them, because you should lock your front door.
No, I get it. I just don't know how kids like how are kids gonna grow up now not having to be like sneaky or naughty at all because they don't have a chance. Like with the Ring doorbells and cameras and stuff, like is the sneaking in and out generation that we lived through going to consist of like hacking? Like are our kids all gonna know how to turn off our Ring doorbell for like 10 minutes while they like sneak in and out? I mean, who knows what that looks
do the
like.
old spy movie thing where they like switch over the feed to an old feed.
Yeah, a loop. They're gonna loop the camera.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How did you sneak out,
sucks.
Craig? What did you used to do? What was your move?
So I couldn't sneak out, but I wasn't allowed to stay over at someone's house that didn't have a parent home. So we had one of my best friends had divorced parents, and so the mom would say that I was staying over there. And I mean, I think my dad probably knew, but my mom definitely didn't. And she's like, "Oh, well, the boys are staying over at like so and so's this weekend." And looking back on it, it's kind of wild that she used to lie for us.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has that, house, right, where the mom would let them drink, or the mom would let them, whatever, and everyone's like, yeah, man, we're going over to, whoever's house, because the mom like would buy beer or would lie like that. That's kind of shady though, Craig. That's a shady one.
And what really happened was on the back porch was a cooler with a 30 rack of Bud Light inside and a handle of Captain Morgan's every Friday. And we had a little fucking crew. And so then we would go out, but I would like somehow go home. I don't know. Fortunately, then we got like a beach house and I used to go there, which I wasn't allowed to. And my dad was like, yeah, I knew you went there, idiot. I just couldn't but my rule was to keep me from driving, which I was so dumb once or twice in high school. And I think that's why I never drank and drove again, because I was like, I was never drunk, but like if you're under 21 and you blow anything, you can get a DUI because you're not old enough to drink. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like, I used my luck up for that. Which, yeah.
I ever tell you about mine?
No, that's what scares me about having kids. I'm just like, I mean, they're gonna be teenagers, and you really do think you know better than anyone else, but like, you just don't.
Of course. I was like a junior, maybe, or maybe I was a sophomore. No, I was a junior, and I had my car, and I mean, I went over to this girl's house with another, guy friend. Her parents were out of town, right? And like, I like drove him somewhere to get beer, right? And he was like, "You shouldn't be driving." I was like, I am, golden. I got pulled. I don't know how, but I blew like a .06 or something, and because it took him, ages for like the cops to come. Yes. And I guess that they could have just even hauled me off, right? Because that's like an underage drinking, right? But But because they waited for so long for someone to come with the breathalyzer, um, anyways, like I called my dad, and my dad, showed up, and the cop there was like, I hope that they fuck you. I hope that like you get, prosecuted and like a DUI and, and under the influence and, all this stuff. And like my jaw dropped and, my parents almost killed me, but that was basically the last time like I drank. And it's like, okay, the drinking and driving thing is not cool, right? I mean, I was in high school. I was like, bumping probably like Chameleonaire, they see me rolling, right? I thought I was like the coolest thing because
Yeah,
I was
that was
driving and
my only
my
rule in
MySpace.
college.
That's
My
my
dad was
MySpace song.
like, something's gonna happen, like I understand, like you might get in trouble, but if it's for a DUI, like you're paying for your own college. Like there's no
Yeah,
reason to ever get a DUI. Wait, that's
yeah.
so what you just rode home with your dad?
I rode home with my dad. I don't even know what I did with my car that night. I really don't. I don't know if I left it there and we went back the next day and got it, or if the cop was like follow your dad home right now. But then again, that would be the most like an irresponsible move ever. So they
Did
probably
then
just told me to jump in with my dad
did
and
you get in double
hell out of here.
trouble like by your parents because you were drinking, or they knew that you drank already?
They did not know that I drank already, and they did not know, where I was, because what it was, going back to how I used to sneak out, was that my house, we had like an alarm system, but I mean, they didn't arm it. They didn't arm the thing. So whenever you opened a door, it would just go beep, 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 right?
Right.
But it beeped in my mom's room, and my mom was the lightest sleeper, and she always knew when I came and went. But so prior to leaving, I used to crack open the back door, and so that it didn't do the beep, beep, beep thing.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
funny.
yeah, and then I would leave it cracked. And then that's how I would drive out and come back in. And man, did I know every floorboard that creaked and every stair that creaked. And I'd jump over, that third step and like that eighth, and 12th. And I was like, jumping up these stairs. I was like a nimble cat, but that was my method for sneaking out.
That dude, that's a big enemy to people trying to sneak out or in is the door chime. And that unlocked a memory for me. I used to turn the chime off at some point,
Mm.
like during the evening. Um,
I didn't know how
but I
to.
don't know. Yeah.
It was just like a
Uh,
thing, man. That thing was always beeping. Like it was always beeping. And because like I grew up with it, it was just like a way of life almost. And now I've never really
my,
heard that at like a friend's house.
and my parents didn't have the back spiral staircase to the top porch back then. So like, yeah, I got the thing I got caught doing was like having a party at our beach house, and the
Yeah, caught
cleaners
at a
like
party
showed
one
up the
time.
next day, like my dad's employees, and they walked in and were like, it was me and like all my friends, and they told my dad. But then my mom found the actually the only time that I one of the times I really got in trouble was my dad made me come home from work, and he was throwing all my shit out in the driveway. I mean, this is back in the 90s or no, early 2000s. And he found like an ounce of weed in the bread basket above the fridge at our beach house. And he was so angry. And I like had no idea what was going on. He was doing the whole routine, like, I can't believe you, motherfucker. Like what you did. And in my head, I'm like, oh God, like what did he catch me doing? And then my mom was like, he found your drugs or something. And I was like, wait, I don't have any drugs. I was like, and I didn't smoke weed back then. And finally we figured out, and it got calm enough that one time I was having a party at the cottage, and the cops came, and my stupid friend, like the weed dealer guy, hid his drugs
Yep.
above our fridge and forgot where he put them, and he just left the fucking drugs in my house.
Yep.
So
That happened to me too. That happened to me. It was
no
not an
way.
ounce of weed for God's sakes, but
Well, like a
um
sandwich bag, whatever,
yeah,
like a sandwich bag. Yeah.
right, right. My dad found a fucking gas mask. Do you remember using those? I mean, man, I didn't, dude. I've
No, I
always,
remember seeing my degenerate friends
yes,
use them.
yes.
Yeah.
I've always had just like a low ass tolerance, for weed. I mean, I used to love to smoke it like in doses, I didn't love to hit like a roar and take like a huge, bong rip because it would just destroy me. But my buddy had brought over a gas mask and like an, 8-inch tall bong or something that it like that it attached to. Um and he left it there, and I went to the beach house the next day, and I told a friend to go get it, and I was like, hey, go and get this thing and make sure that it's out of my house. And I they fucking called me and they were like, hey, we're on your back porch, your door's locked. And I was like, no, 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 I left it unlocked like on purpose. And they're like, we're looking in and like we're looking at it and we can see it. And I was like, no. And so on Sunday, I wake up and I'm like, all right, I'm fucking headed back to Charlotte. And my mom was like, all right, well, your dad left, 30 minutes ago. So like you and I are riding home together. And I was like, oh no, And so my mom and I, the whole way, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. And my dad, I mean, kudos to him. He kept it to himself. He didn't tell my
No
mom,
way.
but he pulled me aside and was like, you have to get so fucking high that you have like a gas mask. I was like, Dad, I promise you it's not mine. And like you can toss it if you want to, because like I don't care. But I'm just like embarrassed as hell. And he didn't tell my mom because my mom would have raised hell. She would have raised hell and been like,
Wow, what a
you are a
fucking move
degenerate.
by your
I
dad.
know. I know, man.
Wow, that's a solid move. But
I
yeah, finding a gas mask is insane. Were you
gas
like the
mask.
type of kid that built the like toilet paper, like paper towel thing that you blew in that had dryer
Yeah.
sheets? So you
Yep.
smoked in your parents' house.
Yes.
I would have. Yeah, that would scare the
Yeah.
shit. I remember smoking a Black and Mild
What
on
are
the
those
roof
called? Like
once, and that was a
spoofs or
big
something
deal.
like that, or
A spoof.
No.
spoof? That's right.
A
Yeah.
spoof. A paper towel roll with dryer sheets
All right, moms, cover
stuffed
your
in it
ears.
and on the end of it. And yeah, when you breathe into it, it literally would come out, smelling like a dryer sheet. It was genius. But
Really?
yeah, it was genius.
Yeah. I don't know. I got caught smoking a Black and Wild on my roof once. My dad knew everything I was doing. And it's funny now that we tell stories when Paige is home and Christopher's fiance. And my mom is the most wide-eyed one at the table. She's like, "Thank God I didn't know any of this was going on."
Yeah, it was grades that screwed me one time with my mom. Because the school system, they started like using a new grading system, and like the thing failed, so it gave everybody 50s. And my mom got the the report card in her email and was like, "Why are you failing every class?" She came in and threw my phone out the window. She threw my like PlayStation against the wall. She went ballistic. And I get to fucking school the
Wow.
next day, that day, and my history teacher goes, "Yeah, so I got a call for your mom. Sounds like you had a fun day." I had an 80 in the class. Apparently, like the school system just crashed when it sent out report cards.
Wow.
And that's what did me in.
What did it say that you had?
50s in every single class. Like I was failing all my classes.
Yeah. I had a coming to Jesus moment too. I mean, on my wall, I had like a Bob Marley poster and Jim freaking Morrison, and she came in there, one day because I got caught smoking weed, and she like ripped them all off, and she was like, "Are these your idols?" And I was like, "Not anymore, they're not." It's like whatever you say. Like, I mean, she had me cowering in the corner.
I was never a poster guy until like surf post. I think I had surf
Dude,
posters.
I had
Actually.
so many like snowboarding pictures that I would just even rip out like a page and put up on my wall. I mean, my wall was covered with snowboarding pics. Absolutely covered. All right, guys. And with that concludes this week's episode of Pillows and Beer. We will see all of our Phoenix besties on Thursday at 7 p.m. We cannot wait. There are still some tickets left. Go to pillowsandbeer.com. I'm not sure if there are VIPs left, but I'm very excited. Very excited. This is our last show of this leg of the tour,
This version
of this tour.
Yeah.
So, the Austin and Craig Pillows and Beer era tour 2.0 is coming to an end. So we love you, and we'll see you all on Thursday.